Two neighbors, same street, same size house. One of them spends her entire Saturday scrubbing, mopping, and muttering, and by Sunday, her place already looks lived in again. The other spends 30 minutes a day, never breaks a sweat, and her home looks guest-ready every single afternoon. Same dirt, same dust, same life happening inside those walls. So what's the difference? It isn't effort, it isn't expensive gadgets, and it certainly isn't youth. The difference is that one of them has a routine and the other one is improvising. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through that exact routine, step by step, phase by phase, so that by the end of this video you'll never again stand in a doorway wondering where on earth to begin. And I've shaped every bit of it for folks like us, whose backs, hips, and knees deserve a little consideration. My name is John Marcus, and this is Seniors Cleaning Hacks, the channel where we clean smarter because we've got better things to do with our energy. If you're new here, take a second and hit that subscribe button, because every week I share methods that save your joints, your time, and your patience. All right, let's get into it. Here's something nobody tells you. The reason cleaning feels overwhelming usually has nothing to do with dirt. It has to do with decisions. When you step into a cluttered kitchen or a dusty living room without a plan, your brain has to make hundreds of tiny choices. Where do I start? Should I grab the vacuum or the spray? Do I clear the counter first or wipe the shelf? Every one of those little decisions drains you, and by the time you've made 20 of them, you're tired before you've wiped a single surface. Professional cleaners figured this out decades ago. The people who clean homes for a living can do an entire house in a couple of hours, and it's not because they're stronger or faster than you. It's because they never make decisions while they work. The routine makes the decisions for them. Their hands move while their mind rests. That's the secret we're borrowing, and I've adapted it so it's kind to older backs, hips, and knees. I call it the full circle routine, and it has 3 phases. Once you learn them, you'll never stand in a doorway feeling lost again. The 3 rules that power everything. Before we walk through the phases, you need 3 simple rules. These rules apply in every single room, every single time, and they're the reason this routine is so efficient. Rule 1. Always work from high to low. Dust obeys gravity. If you wipe a table and then dust the shelf above it, guess where those shelf particles land? Right back on your clean table, and now you're doing the same job twice. So we always begin at the highest point we can safely reach and work our way down, letting gravity do the delivery work, and we catch everything at floor level at the very end. Rule 2. Move in one direction around the room. Pick a starting point, I always use the door, and travel around the room like the hands of a clock, never doubling back. Crisscrossing a room is how you miss spots, and how you wear yourself out walking back and forth. One steady loop means every inch gets covered exactly once. Rule 3. Finish one zone before starting the next. Instead of seeing the whole room as one giant job, mentally slice it into sections, the way you'd cut a pie. Clean one slice completely, top to bottom, then step sideways to the next slice. This keeps the job bite-sized, and if you need to rest partway through, you can sit down knowing exactly where you left off. For those of us pacing our energy, that matters enormously. High to low, one direction, one zone at a time. Those 3 rules alone will cut your cleaning time by 1/3. Now let's build the routine on top of them. Set up your carry caddy first. One more piece of preparation, and it might be the most important tip in this entire video for anyone with mobility concerns. Assemble a cleaning caddy. This is just a lightweight plastic tote with a handle, and it holds everything you need so you never have to make repeat trips to the cabinet under the sink. Every trip you don't take is energy you keep. Inside mine, you'll find an all-purpose spray, a glass cleaner, a disinfectant for the germy spots, a stack of microfiber cloths, a soft scrub brush, and a pair of gloves. That's it. You do not need a different product for every surface in your home. An all-purpose cleaner handles 90% of household jobs, and plain white vinegar, diluted with water, handles most of the rest. A quick word of caution from a fellow who learned it the hard way. Never mix bleach with vinegar or with anything containing ammonia. The fumes are dangerous for anyone, and they're especially rough on older lungs. Keep your products simple and separate, and you'll never have a problem. If your knees or hips make carrying things tricky, put your caddy on a rolling cart. A little utility cart on wheels glides from room to room, and doubles as something steady to rest a hand on. Mine cost less than a nice dinner out, and it saved me 1,000 trips. Now, the 3 phases. Here's where it all comes together. Phase number 1. The clear out. Every room gets tidied before it gets cleaned, and I want you to hear the distinction, because it changed everything for me. Tidying is putting things where they belong. Cleaning is removing dirt from surfaces. They are 2 completely different jobs, and trying to do both at once is why cleaning takes so long. You can't wipe a counter that's covered in mail, and if you clear the mail while holding a spray bottle, you're constantly switching gears and losing momentum. So phase 1 is purely a clearing pass. Start at your door, take an empty basket or bag with you, and travel your one-direction loop around the room. Anything that doesn't belong in this room goes in the basket. Don't deliver it to its home yet. That's a trap that turns a 10-minute tidy into an hour of wandering the house. Just collect it and park the basket by the door. Anything that does belong in the room gets straightened as you pass. Cushions plumped, magazines stacked, remote controls corralled. Here's my favorite senior-friendly trick for this phase. Use a long-handled grabber tool, the kind with the trigger handle and the little claws on the end. It picks up socks, papers, and dropped items off the floor without a single bend of the back, and it reaches things that slid behind furniture. I keep one hanging in the hall closet, and honestly, I'd rather give up my television than that grabber. Phase 1 should take 5 to 10 minutes in an average room. When you're done, the room isn't clean yet, but it's ready to be cleaned. And psychologically, it already looks 50% better. That visual progress is fuel. It keeps you going. Phase number 2, the actual clean. With the clutter gone, phase 2 is where the dirt comes off. And because you've prepared, this part moves fast. Return to your starting point at the door with your caddy or cart. Work your loop again, zone by zone, and inside each zone work from high to low. Up high, that means dusting shelf tops, picture frames, and the tops of door trim. Please use an extendable duster for anything above shoulder height. Climbing on chairs and step stools is how too many of us end up in the emergency room, and no cobweb is worth a broken hip. A duster with a telescoping handle reaches ceiling corners and light fixtures, while your feet stay planted safely on the floor, which is exactly where feet belong. At eye level and counter height, this is your wiping zone. Spray your cloth rather than the surface. It gives you better control and keeps overspray off your floors. Then wipe in an S-shaped pattern rather than circles. Circles just push dirt around. The S pattern carries it along and off the edge into your cloth. Microfiber is your best friend here because it grabs dust instead of flinging it into the air, which is easier on your sinuses, and it works beautifully with nothing but water on most surfaces. Give extra attention to what the pros call high touch points: doorknobs, light switches, handles, railings, and the arms of chairs. These spots collect more germs than almost anywhere else in the house, and a quick pass with disinfectant here does more for your health than an hour of polishing elsewhere. During cold and flu season, I hit these even on days I'm not doing a full clean. One technique that saves real effort: let your products do the working. If you've got a grimy stovetop or soap scum in the bathroom, spray it at the very start of phase 2. Then go clean the rest of the zone while the product sits and softens the mess. When you circle back a few minutes later, what would have taken hard scrubbing wipes away with light pressure. Your shoulder will thank you. Chemistry beats muscle every single time, and at our age, we choose chemistry. If you're finding these tips useful so far, do me a quick favor and tap the like button. It tells me what's helping, and it helps other folks our age find this channel. Phase number 3, the ground game. The final phase handles everything at floor level, plus the trash, and it's deliberately last for a reason. Every phase before this one has been knocking dust and crumbs downward, and now we catch it all in one pass. First, empty the wastebaskets and replace the liners. Small job, big visual payoff. Then it's floor time, and here I want to talk honestly about equipment, because the right tools at this stage are the difference between a pleasant finish and a sore evening. If you're still wrestling a heavy old upright vacuum up and down the hall, consider retiring it. A lightweight cordless stick vacuum weighs a fraction as much, has no cord to trip over, and lets you clean in short bursts without dragging machinery behind you. Cords on the floor are one of the leading trip hazards in the home, and eliminating one is a genuine safety upgrade, not a luxury. For hard floors, a flat microfiber spray mop beats the old bucket and wringer setup in every way that matters. No lifting a heavy bucket, no wringing that punishes arthritic hands, and the pads toss right in the wash. Vacuum or sweep first, always. Then mop only where mopping is actually needed. Kitchens and bathrooms earn a mop regularly because of spills and splashes. Bedrooms and living rooms mostly just need the vacuum, so don't create work that the room isn't asking for. Work your same one-direction loop, and here's the part everyone forgets. Finish at the door and walk out. Mop yourself out of the room, not into a corner, or you'll be standing on wet floor waiting like a cat on a windowsill. Grab that basket of misplaced items you parked by the door in Phase 1, deliver each thing to its home on your way to the next room, and that's it. Full circle, room complete. Pacing yourself, the part most videos skip. Now let me say something the younger cleaning channels never mention. You do not have to do your whole house in one day, and frankly, you shouldn't. Occupational therapists who work with older adults teach a principle called energy conservation, and the heart of it is this: rest before you're tired, not after. Waiting until you're worn out means a long recovery. Resting early means you can keep going comfortably. So here's how I structure my week. 1 or 2 rooms per day, done with the full 3-phase routine. Monday might be the kitchen. Tuesday, the bathroom. Wednesday, the living room. By Friday, the whole house has had its turn. No single day cost me more than 30 or 40 minutes, and my weekend is completely mine. Set a kitchen timer if it helps. Work your phases, and when the timer rings, you're allowed to be done. A house cleaned steadily in small pieces stays cleaner than a house blitzed once a month, because dirt never gets the chance to build up and harden into a hard job. A few more comfort tips while we're here. Sit down for tasks that allow it. A sturdy chair at the sink makes dishes and hand washing far easier on the legs. Keep a small set of basic supplies on each floor of your home so stairs aren't part of every job. Open a window while you clean for fresh air and better breathing. And put on some music you love, because a routine you enjoy is a routine you'll actually keep. The beautiful thing about the full circle routine is that it removes the hardest part of cleaning, which was never the scrubbing. It was the standing in the doorway not knowing where to begin. From here on, you always know. Caddy ready, start at the door, clear it out, clean it high to low, catch the floors, walk out finished. 3 phases, 3 rules, 1 loop. Your hands learn it in a week, and after that it runs on autopilot while your mind wanders somewhere pleasant. I'd love to hear from you down in the comments if you feel like sharing. Which room in your home gives you the most trouble? For years mine was the kitchen, until this routine tamed it, and your answers help me plan future videos that tackle the rooms you actually struggle with. If someone in your life, a friend, a sister, a neighbor, could use an easier way to keep house, pass this video along to them. And if you'd like more ways to keep your home comfortable without wearing yourself out, subscribe to Seniors Cleaning Hacks and turn on notifications so you never miss a trick. From my clean house to yours, I'm John Marcus. Take care of your home, but take better care of yourself. Until we visit again, be well.